Hi everyone, this is James from the Crypto Swiss channel, and today we're diving into why XRP might just be one of the only cryptos truly worth holding until 2030. Here's the deal. There's a headline from the Motley Fool that caught my eye. Now, they occasionally hit the nail on the head, but sometimes miss the mark, and this one deserves a closer look. The truth is, most mainstream media outlets, and honestly, most people in crypto outside our community, just don't get why XRP remains so strong long-term. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. But let me tell you, it absolutely is. XRP has been around for over a decade, an eternity in crypto, and it's only gotten better. Adoption, utility, and yes, price, XRP keeps proving its value, consistently ranking among the top performers in the crypto space. So, why do so many people still not see what's right in front of them? I also came across another headline. Is XRP a dead coin? Prominent angel investor responds. Spoiler alert, it's not dead, not even close. Interestingly, these two articles touch on related points, so I'm tackling both together. By the end of this video, I'll share some solid reasons why you should feel optimistic about the market rebounding. It's been fascinating to watch XRP and the broader crypto market show resilience amidst a global sell-off in stocks, gold, oil, you name it. While everything else tanks, crypto, including XRP, has been moving up. Well, this is new. Seriously. I can't recall a time when we've had a global market sell-off and crypto didn't catch the panic bug. Think about it. Remember March 2020 during COVID? XRP tanked to 10 cents. Yeah, I remember that vividly. But this time, different story. Sure, it's not like crypto is skyrocketing right now. There's no massive breakout happening, but hey, it's refreshing to see a bit of green on the charts. Now, before we wrap up, let me share why I'm optimistic. I believe we're heading toward that final rally. Bitcoin smashing a new all-time high, XRP outperforming Bitcoin by a mile, faces melting, price discovery kicking in for XRP after what feels like an eternity, and yes, a proper alt season finally arriving. Quick reminder though, I'm no financial expert. This isn't financial advice, and you absolutely shouldn't make any trades based on what I say or write. With that said, let's dive into the first piece. XRP until 2030? Interesting take. What really grabs me is how no one's mentioning the cyclical nature of crypto or the inevitable bear markets. Instead, it's just, yeah, hold it through 2030 or longer. And honestly, if you're a long-term thinker like me, that's not a crazy idea. Still, it's surprising they're framing it with such a specific timeline without diving into market cycles. For me, since I started buying in 2017, I've always understood this industry moves in waves. My mindset, buy, hold, and see what happens. If I feel like selling during a peak, great. If not, well, worst case scenario, it goes to zero. Simple as that. Anyway, here's the gist of the piece. Cryptos often fade after their flash-in-the-pan moments, leading some to prematurely call them the future of finance. But coins like XRP have proven their resilience, surviving years instead of weeks or months. That kind of staying power sets them apart, making them one of the few cryptos worth holding through 2030 and beyond. And trust me, I'll circle back to this after diving into the rest of the article. Is XRP a dead coin? Critics love to throw this claim around, but prominent angel investor Armando Pantoja has a different take, and it's worth hearing. Let's face it, calling XRP dead at this point is almost laughable. XRP continues to outperform in the crypto asset space, with growing utility, an increasing number of developers building on the XRP ledger, and more businesses integrating it into their operations. By almost any metric, be it wallet counts or adoption rates, XRP proves time and time again that it has staying power. And let's not forget, XRP has weathered some of the toughest storms. Despite relentless attempts by the SEC to undermine it, XRP remained in the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap. That's no small feat. Armando highlighted something crucial: XRP's unmatched resilience. Here's a stat to put things in perspective. Of the tens of thousands of crypto coins created, only 3 have stayed in the top 10 by market cap for their entire existence: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. That's it, no others. While countless coins that once rivaled XRP have faded into obscurity, XRP has held its ground for a decade. It's proof that XRP isn't just surviving, it's thriving. And those who doubted it, well, they might want to check the scoreboard. It couldn't be more obvious at this point. How is that still not enough? If you're someone who doubts XRP, maybe it's time to acknowledge the fact that it's not going anywhere. At some point, shouldn't you take a step back, be intellectually honest, and think, well, I don't get it, but the rest of the world clearly does? What are you missing? When do you stop and ask yourself, what am I not understanding? Bitcoiners, if you're irrationally anti-XRP, take a moment to reflect. It's the same logic you wish people who are anti-crypto or anti-Bitcoin would use. Bitcoin has been around for 16 years now. Wouldn't you expect skeptics to eventually say, okay, I've been dismissing this for over a decade, but it's still here, gaining value. What am I missing? When do you look inward and admit, maybe I'm the one who doesn't get it? That's the reality here. And honestly, with XRP, it's so glaringly obvious if you can set aside your biases. It's an incredible buying opportunity, and I've been saying this for years. It just makes sense. Take this recent Motley Fool article, for instance. They got some things right, some things wrong, but check this out. They even acknowledge that XRP stands out for its rapid speed and ultra-low transaction fees. That's the kind of advantage you can't ignore. The key to XRP's long-term success lies in its design. It wasn't built just for investors, but tailored to meet the needs of financial institutions. Now let's set the record straight. Sure, they nailed it on the rapid speed and low transaction fees, but everything after that? Totally off the mark. Hear me out. XRP was born as an answer to Bitcoin's flaws. A better, faster version of the original. Bitcoin had potential, no doubt. People were drawn to its decentralized nature, immutable ledger, and groundbreaking vision. But as a peer-to-peer cash system, it flopped. Too slow, too pricey, yet Bitcoin endures. Like it or not, it's here to stay. Its staying power is undeniable. XRP, though, took it a step further. It didn't just share Bitcoin's strengths, it delivered on what Bitcoin was supposed to be in the first place, and it did it at scale. That's why XRP has stood the test of time. It wasn't about catering to financial institutions alone, it was about fulfilling Bitcoin's original promise. That's the secret to its resilience. Simple as that. Yes, institutions have jumped on board, but let's be real. The reason XRP has endured is the retail crowd, and there's plenty of proof to back that up. Retail investors were here long before institutions even blinked at XRP's existence. Since its launch in 2013, there were virtually no institutions paying attention. Fast forward 5 years to 2018, and even then, institutional interest was barely a trickle, almost non-existent. So, why did XRP survive? It wasn't because of the big players, it's because it works, and because people like you and me believed in it. That's the key. That's the piece so many miss. Institutions didn't build this. We did. Now, I'll give them credit. They understand institutional adoption matters. I'm not denying that. It absolutely does. But that's not what got us here. Thankfully, they do recognize the importance of XRP's retail investors. Without us, XRP wouldn't be where it is today. We were the ones who saw its potential, who stuck with it no matter what. That commitment? That's what eventually caught the eye of institutions. Even the article admits it later. XRP has a fiercely loyal base of retail investors, people who've held on through thick and thin, and that dedication is what made the world take notice. Despite XRP's extended slump from 2022 to late 2024, the passion of its community never wavered. In fact, the dedication of XRP's small holders has become legendary within the crypto world. These individuals aren't just investors, they're evangelists, offering the coin an invaluable boost of grassroots marketing. XRP's holders are in it for the long haul, and their commitment shows no signs of fading. Some might label this as marketing, calling people like us, those who share an interest, marketers. But let's be real, that's not quite right. Sure, the enthusiasm of the community may have a similar effect to marketing, but at its core, it's something much deeper. We're a community, bonded by a shared belief in the coin and the conversations that come with it. These discussions naturally attract curious onlookers who often realize, hey, these folks actually make a lot of sense. And just like that, they join in. It's word of mouth, plain and simple, just in the digital age. Yet some miss the point entirely. They focus on institutions, partnerships, or trends, but forget the heart of it all, the retail investors. That's why we're here. Why XRP thrives. Alright, let's dive deeper. Why are we really here? Because at its core, the technology behind XRP just works. Plain and simple, it works. It delivers on the promises that Bitcoin couldn't. That's what makes XRP stand out. That's the heart of it. Sure, there are countless other reasons to be excited. Tons of businesses building on the XRP ledger, real-world utility, and innovative use cases popping up everywhere. But strip it all back, and the foundation is rock solid. Now let's be real. If you can't be intellectually honest about this, even if you're not an XRP fan, ask yourself, why is it still thriving after all these years? Ignoring that fact could put you at a disadvantage. That's all I'm saying. And guess what? There are real indicators suggesting this market cycle is about to heat up big time. Consider this. Julian Biddle, CFA and head of macro research at Global Macro Investor, GMI, just shared an eye-catching chart. The pink line is the GMI Financial Conditions Index with a 3-month lead over Bitcoin. The black line. When you line them up, the correlation is clear. The index predicts what's coming for Bitcoin. Julian Biddle, ring a bell? Not too long ago, maybe a week, maybe a few days, I've honestly lost track, I shared a post from him. In that post, Julian highlighted another one, and it all tied back to a fascinating stat, the 12-week lead time for global M2 liquidity. Turns out, when you factor in that lead time, the correlation is spot on. And here's the kicker. Liquidity has been on the rise. That's why the team at GMI has been predicting a massive surge, potentially hitting its stride in April or May. Now they're analyzing another metric, the GMI Financial Conditions Index, which seems to tell a similar story. While they haven't broken down exactly what goes into the index, or at least I haven't seen it yet, these guys are data-driven to the core. I trust that whatever is behind this metric is worth paying attention to. For those unfamiliar, Raoul Pal, GMI's founder and CEO, has a serious track record. Ex-Goldman Sachs, career finance guy, and yes, he holds XRP, fun fact. According to him, the best is still ahead. And when you consider XRP's position in this market cycle, let's just say the opportunity here might just blow some minds. If this market is set to explode, what's going to lead the charge? Look at XRP. It's perfectly positioned. It's obvious to me that XRP has already hit escape velocity. It's been running smoothly for over 12 years now, proving itself time and time again. It just works. Period. Everything's moving in the right direction. Unless something drastically changes, I think it's fair to say XRP has already won. Now, it's just a matter of time. The world needs to catch up. More people need to discover crypto and realize what's right in front of them. We've already uncovered the winner, but the best part? Hardly anyone knows it yet. That's exciting. Sure, XRP's price is 49 cents, higher than it was before the elections, but the key is growing the whole crypto market and getting more people on board. That's why patience is our greatest ally. If things keep trending this way, it's only a matter of time before the world catches up. And that's why I stay glued to this space every single day. My mindset has always been simple. Either I'm right, and XRP becomes insanely valuable one day, or I'm wrong, and I ride this thing all the way to zero. And I'm fine with that. When I say I'd ride it to zero, it's because I genuinely believe in XRP as it stands right now. I've believed in it since 2017, and honestly, it's only gotten stronger since then. Of course, if something majorly disastrous happened, like a catastrophic change to the code, I wouldn't stay quiet. Trust me, I'd sound the alarm and rethink everything. I don't marry any asset, and I'm not tribal about investments. If XRP stopped making sense, I'd pivot, but that's not the reality here. Far from it. So, let's not stress over that. The truth is, we've already won. Let that sink in for a second. We've already won. It's no longer a question of if. Sure, there will be ups and downs, and XRP will have its pullbacks, but it's making up for lost time after being held back by artificial suppression for years. Now, if Raoul Pal and Julian Biddle are right, and I've got a strong feeling they are, we're on the brink of some insane price action in the very near future. Raoul Pal put it perfectly in a post he shared earlier today. People still don't fully grasp that we have a macro hedge fund manager running the treasury now, not an ex-central banker. He has a sharp grasp of how liquidity impacts financial conditions, shaping both the economy and markets. His strategy? Tackle the 3 pillars of financial conditions: dollar, rates, and oil, lowering them to fuel the business cycle. Our GMI Financial Conditions Index, you saw it in the earlier chart, is soaring, signaling looser conditions. Add to that the surge in global M2 money supply and, more critically, GMI, global total liquidity. The effects should hit in the next week or two, sparking a sharp recovery in asset prices and economic data. And this time, it's expected to stick. It just makes sense. There's a strong historical correlation spanning years. If the pattern doesn't hold, it would imply that this time is different. And frankly, That seems unlikely. I believe we're in for more of the same. Check out this blockchain backer post. Somehow, XRP and Bitcoin are holding strong, even during all this chaos. Look at the charts. It's incredible. Never before has there been a sell-off of this magnitude. And yet the crypto market is like, no worries, we're fine. More than fine, actually. The market even picked up gains today. Wild, right? One more nugget from the blockchain backer. This event has pushed oil below 4-year support levels. What a moment to watch all of this unfold. Now this is fascinating. When it comes to XRP, there's something unique going on here, and it's right there on your screen. Chart analyst Dom from TraderView 2 has been tracking a rather unconventional pairing. XRP denominated in US oil. It's not something most people follow. Let's be honest. How many of us think about XRP in terms of oil? But here's the thing. You can pair anything with anything. Markets are interconnected, and exploring these unusual pairs can reveal insights you might never uncover by sticking to the usual XRP/USD charts. Dom's analysis of the XRP/US oil pair caught my attention for a reason. He's predicting a massive bounce, citing US oil's worst breakdown in years. That's where it gets intriguing. This chain reaction is what blockchain macro dynamics are all about. As oil tanked against the dollar, XRP's value climbed in this pairing. Sure, XRP rose slightly against the dollar too, but the bigger move was driven by oil's slump. It's all connected, a perfect example of how global markets play off each other in unexpected ways. So why bother tracking something like XRP against US oil? Dom sums it up perfectly. Perspective. While most people fixate on assets paired with the US dollar, pairing them with something unconventional like oil offers a whole new angle. It's about seeing the bigger picture, the one USD charts might miss. Markets are intertwined, and sometimes stepping outside the norm reveals the hidden dynamics at play. The perfect example of this was Bitcoin's consolidation last year. The BTC to US oil pairing gave us a clear bullish signal well before the BTC to USD pair did. Just take a look. BTC paired with oil on the right, BTC to USD on the left. It's a fresh perspective, and that's what makes it so interesting. This is the same reason why people get intrigued by XRP paired with NVIDIA. Back in 2017, when XRP bottomed against NVIDIA, it coincided with an absolute market low. It's fascinating because it also bottomed against the dollar that same year. These pairings give us a whole new lens to analyze trends. There's a real synergy here. It's like unraveling a complex web of global trade, economic zones, and interconnections. You've got to look beyond just the dollar. And for those of you outside the US, it's not even all about the dollar. It's whatever fiat currency grabs your interest. It's a universal concept. Hopefully you're catching my drift here. That's exactly why some analysts dive into these alternative pairings, whether it's XRP or Bitcoin. It's not just about one market, but how they all weave together. So here's the thing. I truly believe there's every reason to stay optimistic. The best days are still ahead. Now imagine holding on to XRP beyond 2030. Just think about it. If you could have a chat with someone 10 or 20 years from now, they'd likely tell you they'd give anything to trade places with you and seize the opportunity you have today. I'd bet on that. XRP's long-term potential is undeniable. It's built on fundamentals that will always remain in demand. And let's not forget, XRP was one of the pioneers. It completely nailed the payments use case, carving out its spot as a cornerstone in the space. Once a technology becomes deeply rooted in society, it's incredibly hard to replace. It's just a fact of life. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Don't make decisions based solely on what I say or write. That'd be a terrible, terrible idea. But until next time, keep dreaming big.